How's it going, everyone, and welcome to another Counterside video. The Origin stream is done and over, and thanks to our good, wonderful friends at Prydwen.gg, we have a great breakdown and summary of what was talked about in this live stream and some nice screenshots to kind of go along with it. So I'm going to use this source to talk about what was discussed in the stream and get that information to you all. I'll say overall, positive outlook, positive, very happy with what we heard. Only one thing really kind of left a, not bad impression, but a bummer of an impression, so we'll get to all that as we go through it. I will try to timestamp the video so it's a little easier to navigate, and I will discuss my thoughts on each topic as is relevant as we're going through it. So with all that being said, let's get right into the summary. So they have a great little breakdown of everything here, but we're just going to go through it one little bullet point at a time. Starting off, Studio B-Side's taking over. This isn't really new information. This is what we knew, that that B-Side next on our parting ways, and starting in February, everything's going to be handled by Studio B-Side. This is going to result in the server merge, the Japan server being merged into global, and the KR will have its own server, but no matter the version, you'll be able to play it all in one client, both mobile and PC. So, one client, all the versions. It says the C, Taiwan, and Chinese versions won't be affected by the change. So I guess they are their own, or I don't know if you can access them from the same map, but I think they're their own. I don't know 100%. But that's basically all stuff we knew. None of that's new information. That's the baseline of what we knew, right? So that going right into the new UI, and we got some screenshots here, and we're gonna look at these a little bit. But the UI is being the updated UI is introduced on the 8th of February when everything goes down. And it'll make a lot of the screens clearer, and even the battle screen will get small changes, like the HP bars of allies going from green to white to hopefully stand out a bit more. And if we can hopefully get a little bit of a zoom in on the let's get a little bit of a zoom in here on this image, kind of see what we're talking about. You can see the home screen here in this one a lot more compacted, cleaner, and then the story chapters, everything breaks down in like a nice little timeline. This is very reminiscent of like Arknights and like how their story chapters kind of look, going from like bit to bit to bit. So, and I think that's a good thing. I think overall that definitely looks clean, looks nicer. Some more little images here we can take a look at. And just kind of seeing the missions, how they break down in the different tabs and stuff a little bit better. This is like all the way down from the icons down at the bottom here. Very reminiscent of, I keep thinking of Arknights. It's very reminiscent of how Arknights' UI looks. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Arknights has a pretty clean and straightforward UI, so this looks great. So, and taking a look at the one with the battle screen here, see if I can make out any of the other little changes they were talking about. It looks like the health bars at the top are a lot, well, I don't think cleaner is the word I want to use. They're just smaller. They used to have kind of like a stylized like slant to them. Now they just look like straight little bars. So I don't know that I like that. The stylized aspect of it was kind of neat, but they're just trying to clean up the UI as a whole, it looks like, and for the most part the battle UI looks relatively the same. Nothing too different there. So ooh, I zoomed in this page too. That's what I meant to do. Well, actually, if I can do that, why don't I just zoom in on this page and just scroll through? So I'm looking at the power-up screens, the squad formations, things like that. So that's what we are looking at in terms of like the cleaned UI. Overall, I think, you know, there are some maybe small things that are kind of like, well, just like taking away some of that stylized aspect to it. But overall, it looks cleaner. It looks a little nicer, so that's fine, right? So the improvements, and the very first thing here is the one thing that I kind of, like I said, it didn't rub me wrong. I don't have a bad opinion of it. It's just, it's not a wholly yay opinion, but so you won't need dupes anymore to ascend characters from level 1 to 110. The thing is, so the dupes will now work kind of like constellations from Genshin Impact. That's the reference that Prydwen uses. I liken it a lot more to like what dupes do in Arknights. Like the purpose is very similar. You can't replace the dupes with anything at the launch of this change. They said this can change in the future. There may be a way to work around that, and I really hope they implement that, because if they implement that, all of my issues are gone, and this is just an amazing change all the way around. So you will level up characters from 1 to 100, you know, the same as you do now with the cores and whatnot, and then from 100 to 110, you'll be using fusion cores. What most people used as is when they were, you know, raising their character level cap, that's what you'll be doing just for everyone. You won't use dupes for that anymore. And the same number as before. They're not changing the number or anything like that. Now, they don't say if you have to use fusion cores for your, you know, non-SSR characters and stuff to get them to 110, but I'm going to assume you do, going off of the information we have here. And then also, counterpasses won't give dupes of characters anymore. It will give 60 fusion cores instead. So that's, you know, just should be enough, if memory serves correctly, to get you the same number of limit breaks. So boom, bam, boom. There you go. That's leveling up characters now. The dupes, you feed into them, give them a little bit of a buff. It's what they're used for now. Very similar to how dupes are used in pretty much every other gacha game out there, right? For the Hilda they have in the picture here, the dupe effects are: 1 dupe gives you a damage dealt plus 4%, 2 damage reduction plus 4%, 3 deployment resource refund plus 4%, 4 damage dealt plus 2%, 5 damage reduction plus 2%, and 6 resource refund 2%. It's nothing game breaking, and it's nothing major. It's a 6% increase in damage, even that, and that's just for this SR unit here, and that's nothing major. So it's really, really small. And you know, for your characters that you can farm the copies of, you can farm the, you know, resource data of or whatnot. You know, you can just farm dupes that way and feed the dupes in. It works. You don't have to pull for them. So that's nice. That is a super nice system. Now, they say in here somewhere else, so the future PvE content here will be designed with this system in mind, meaning that you will be able to clear the content without this system. It's being designed without the system in mind, so you'll be able to clear the contents without dupes. So nothing's being designed with the idea that your characters have dupes. So the characters will all work the way they work now, without that extra buff that the new dupe system will do. So that's how they're designing characters going forward, and continuing to design characters is the same way they have been, and not with this in mind. So, you know, you don't need dupes for characters to work. And looking at the buffs you get here for, like, for Hilda, say, at least, it's not a huge, you know, buff. Like it's such a small thing. I mean, doesn't super matter. And honestly, like, I have zero complaints with this system. I think this is a better system than what they were using, honestly, for the dupes. It does, however, you know, raise a slight, you know, quip in the back of my mind. Like, what about us that used all of these dupes already? Like, our characters could be you know, at that, you know, 6 dupe potential already if we, you know, had them still. So that's a little upsetting. And then it's like awakened characters. Like, you're almost never going to get dupes for awakened characters because just of how limited that resources like are. So, you know, obviously, you know, some of your light and heavy spenders, you know, the whales out there will definitely be able to do this, no problem. It's not a big deal. But I mean, this was never going to be a problem for them, really. So it's for, you know, the lighter spenders and some light spenders and, you know, free to play players. You know, you're never really going to get dupes for awakened units. And then, like, for me, if any of you saw my summoning video for Horizon, Awakened Horizon, you know, I got a dupe buffer, and I used that dupe to cheapen my upgrade to 110 cost. But now I could have used that dupe to give my Awakened Horizon a little bit more of a bump. And like, yeah, it's a rather small and seemingly insignificant bump, but it would have been nice to have because it's an awakened unit. So maybe like it's only because of small things like that I have a quip with it. But overall, this is a great change to the system. I think this is fantastic, and I think it's better for the life expectancy of the game and for newer players. It's fantastic. I overall I have no complaints. I'm just a little saddened, you know, for all of the dupes that I have used, and I'm sure a lot of people probably feel the same, where they're like, yeah, I like this system better, but, you know, it sucks because of all those dupes I've used over, you know, the year and such that I've played, or whatever, however long. There was another tidbit in here somewhere that was somewhat related to this, but maybe we'll come up to it later, and we can talk about it then. But yeah, and then if they give an option to replace dupes with like an item or something in the future, then the entire quip with this thing is kind of gone, because getting dupes for any of your SSRs is fine, because, you know, they're gonna pop up, not a big deal. However, it's just your awakened characters like are almost never going to see dupes for free to play and light spenders because of this. So it sucks for those, I guess. But the moment they have the ability, you know, to use some kind of item or something to replace the dupes with in the future, that's not so much a problem anymore, right? So just hold our breaths, cross our fingers, you know, pray for the best. It'll hopefully, you know, see that change in the near future. Give them the feedback, so you like the idea of the system, you think it's great. But we want something, you know, you can use in place of dupes, you know, for characters that aren't there anymore, or well, like awakened characters and stuff like that. The characters that you know, you just can't summon for dupes for feasibly. So with that, we'll move on, and if the other thing comes up in the notes, I'll talk about it then. So general game mode changes. Dimension trimming will be combined with Shadow Hall and Relic stages. I think when it says dimension trimming, it means, you know, the deep dives, the dives. You know, your dive tower that you do, you know, like every 3 months or whatever. I think that's what it's referring to when it says dimension trimming. So I'm going forward with the assumption that that's what they're talking about here. But all modes will be available from one screen, and they will also make further changes to make those 3 the in-game places to farm equipment. Also, the skip feature will be added to all 3. So Relic stages, Shadow Hall, your dives, all one place, all there ready to be farmed. And to be fair, Shadow Hall and Relic stages were kind of the in the game thing as is currently, and I guess the last 5 levels of the dive tower, so also kind of fell into that category. And here's a big one. Here is a general game mode change that is fantastic. You will be able to farm materials to craft maze gear. Fantastic. That is fantastic. Maze gear is literally like the gear you use for 90% of the characters in this game, especially in terms of counters. And sometimes, you know, as it is, you could only get it's either 3 or 4 sets of maze counter gear. And you had to make 1 attack speed, and you could do the rest as cooldown. And sometimes you needed more. You need more. Like, honestly, there are times when I need 2 sets of maze attack speed, but I can't because I only have enough for 1, because that's all that's in the game. So being able to craft more maze gear, the gear that so many characters use, is fantastic. Now, we don't know how much these materials are, like how much of it you will need to craft. We don't know how difficult they will be to obtain or where we will obtain them. We don't know anything like that. But it's very likely it'll be some form of in-game relevant content. So probably like a new relic dungeon where you farm materials specifically for maze gear. Or something like that. But, you know, whatever they do, they're not taking away the maze gear you can already get in the game and where you get it. You're just, now you can farm to make more of it. And that's just good. That's just great. No new Gordius gear, so no extra Gordius gear for, you know, any of that. Yet, we may get more. Maybe they'll decide to add more. Who knows? But the fact that gear is farmable is a huge improvement. One of the big problems with, you know, gear in the game is, you know, you have a limited set of so many of these gears, of your maze gear, of your Gordius gear, Hummingbird, you know, and you have to use those set binaries to try and roll to get, you know, a complete set to make it work. This, you know, alleviates that problem a little bit, because, so yeah, you have all the maze gear and you used your set binaries and you didn't get the set you want and you can't farm set binaries, so you're just kind of stuck. Well, now you can work on farming to make more maze gear. Maybe some of that stuff you make will have the set you want, and then boom, you're good. I can only see this as an improvement. Yes, gear still has this horrible layer of RNG associated with it that is, you know, pull your hair out frustrating. But this does, in a very small way, alleviate that, and that's good. That's fantastic. I love to see that. Free contracts will be removed from the game, so, you know, the chess mode, those missions, go get those rewards if you haven't. If that's important to you, it's some quartz and stuff. To be completely honest with you, I haven't finished that game mode. Those missions, I haven't done it. I don't particularly like the mode, and even knowing it's going away in a week, 2 weeks, yeah, I have no desire to go do it, because those chess matches are just annoying. Because to do the 3 missions, you gotta be like, gotta do this, and then I gotta do this, and it's just such, it's not difficult, it's just time consuming and monotonous to me. I know some people out there like it, and I'm sorry that you're losing it, but I'm just, you know, honestly, I'm happy to say it's going away. Don't have to worry about it anymore. Like, yay, fantastic. Love to see it gone. Goodbye. I'm sure they don't say it here, but I'm sure the rewards that you could get from it will be redistributed elsewhere, because every time something's taken away, like, or something like that is said in here in other places, they usually say the rewards will be redistributed elsewhere. So there is that. So, you know, fingers crossed, yay. We'll get those rewards somewhere else. I'm not super hurt for it. I'm not super bummed about not doing it, and I'm happy to see it gone. So, challenge tickets will be removed, and you'll be able to skip the stages. So, yay, you'll be able to skip the stages. So that means challenge stages will probably use Eternium now, since the tickets are going away. But that's a great way to burn some Eternium. You know, if you are still trying to get stuff out of the challenge stage shop, you know, go to the challenge stage you have cleared, skip ticket, you know, your Eternium's worth of clears, and get you those medals to go get you, whether you need that gear that's in there, whether you need the binaries that are in there, or whether you want the unit data. That's a fun change, taking the tickets out. At first, when I first read it, I was like, well, bummer, because I could just, you know, trade the tickets in when I wasn't doing my challenge stages actively to still get rewards, you know, the medals, and, you know, build up buying stuff. But now, you know, reading it again and realizing, yeah, the skips feature's there. I can just go in and skip, you know, the runs I want to do and get the medals that way. So it's better. It's honestly better. It's great. It's a great change. And it's you don't have to worry about your tickets recharging or things like that now. So it's very, very good change. And here's the one that I was thinking of a minute ago with the whole dupe system, is they're adding more farmable SR and SSR characters to the side stories. Now, I don't know if that's existing side stories or just, you know, when they add more side stories, because there are other events that they're being added into side stories. You know, all past events eventually are supposed to be added to side stories, and they're supposed to be making new side stories that are just there in side stories. So, more farmable SR and SSRs with the dupe system being in place. That's great, because that means you don't have to pull for those characters to use the dupes on them. So that's fantastic. You know, more farmable characters. You know, that's just great for free-to-play players. So that is a fantastic change. This is another reason I say that they mean the dive tower thing when they say dimension trimming. So there's that. And then dive. It is possible that no longer you will need multiple squads. It will be the prime roguelike mode. No more seasons, and instead, daily you will obtain Eternium based on the maximum depth you've reached. And then artifacts will be made much stronger. This last one will be significant for those last 5 dives, which do serve as the biggest challenge. Making the artifact stronger will help with that, you know, clearing process for people. But no longer needing multiple squads is fantastic. I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do, if it's just one squad or what. Maybe they're taking out the, you know, stamina system that's used for it, like the ammo system, and you choose the squad you want to use, and you just kind of progress through the dives, which in the long run is just better, because you can just make one really good team and just, you know, clear your dive over and over. It's the prime roguelike mode, which is fantastic. We already kind of knew that anyways. But instead of seasons, you will daily obtain Eternium based on the maximum depth you've reached. So this could switch up how we do our, you know, daily cycle, I guess. So, you know, you go do your simulations, you go do your supply operations, this, that, and that. And then you go do your dives for the day. You know, you dive. I don't know if you start from 1 every day and you just keep going until you can't anymore. Doesn't really say. Maybe it resets on a weekly thing, so, you know, on Monday you go to dive 10, you know, and then on Tuesday you get Eternium because you went to dive 10, and you can keep going from 10, and then Wednesday you get based on how far you go up until, you know, the week's over, and then it goes back to 1, you know. I don't know. They don't really say here. Can't understand Korean, so don't really know 100%, and maybe they didn't, you know, fully break it down, but we'll see when it goes live, even if it is just doing it daily, as much time as that would add to the daily process of, or, you know, your daily, you know, cycle. It's fine, you know, especially if you can still sweep through the fights, you know, just sweep through the, you know, 45 of them real quick and easy, you know, if you're not really wanting to do the challenging stuff. So, but it's really nice. Danger Close, which we knew this was changing, you know, already. So Danger Close, Orochi and other bosses will be added. Only 1 boss per season instead of 2, which I think I kind of like that. Season length changed to 3 weeks with a 2-week battle duration, which is good. It gives you more time to kind of power up within the battle period to hopefully try and progress and get a better score. And the battle point leaderboards and rewards are reworked. We don't know how. I don't think they show. Yeah, they don't show in the pictures here on Prydwen, and I don't remember seeing anything with the actual thing. But leaderboards are reworked and rewards reworked. So, you know, I can only hope rewards being reworked means better rewards at a more, you know, evenly distributed way. That's the hope, right? But only 1 boss per season is pretty good. You know, you can focus all of your attempts on that 1 boss. yes, like, because before you had to have, you know, 2 teams, and you know, sometimes both bosses wanted the same character for certain reasons, so you had to build 2 copies of a character. Now you don't have to so much. You still can. I will say I am saddened in a small way that you don't need multiple copies of certain characters, because I like having those extra copies and having a reason for them. I don't know, I just enjoy being able to do that. You know, like almost every Danger Close boss before you needed Young. And so you built multiple. So you built 2 Young, so you could take 1 to each Danger Close boss. Now there's not as much of a need for that, and maybe there'll be other places and other ways that having, you know, multiple copies of a character leveled up is fine. Because, you know, some people like myself did have multiple copies of characters leveled up for reasons like this. So, I mean, even if you don't, you know, need multiple copies for anything anymore, it's not a big deal. I'm not upset. It's fine. It's just one of those, well, darn. But I think overall this is a great change. This is a great change. 1 boss, you only have to worry about the 1 team. You focus on the boss. Work for 2 weeks to try and get your score up as best you can, and then you have the 1 week of down where you collect your rewards, and then hopefully the rewards are nice. So there is some Gauntlet changes here. Some I would like to make comments on, and I don't make a lot of comments on Gauntlet. I'm not a big PvP fan, or player in Counterside, or most games really, and that came back to bite me recently with the New Year missions going on as of recording. I don't get the SSR selector because I haven't been doing PvP, and there's just not enough time for me to get the Gauntlet points. If it was do so many matches, I could still make that work, but you need so many Gauntlet points, and the rate at which you get Gauntlet points and the rate they recharge, it's just not possible for me because I haven't been doing PvP. So I miss out on a selector. That's a different quip. That's a different problem. That's not relevant to this. But that should explain to you that I'm not much of a PvP person, but, you know, I do pay attention to it in some regard. And it's not to say I dislike PvP, because on occasion I do like a good PvP match. It's not my forte, it's not my thing. But 1 season will be split into 2 parts, each lasting 10 weeks. Fairly long seasons, but I think it adds up to about the same time frame we're working with now, which is about 3 months. Well, no, I guess it's 2.5 months there. No. Okay, that's about 5 months. And our current thing is about 3, right? So I don't know. I think that might be a little more even. But 1 season will be split into 2 parts, each lasting 10 weeks. Players who reach Diamond 5 at least will get the seasonal skin. Diamond 5 in what? Strategy battle? The actual ranked battle? Which one? Because it just says Gauntlet, and all of that's considered Gauntlet. I'm going to assume it's the actual player versus player. If you can reach Diamond 5 each season, you get the seasonal skin. And then as you see in that image right there, Replacer King will be the first skin reward for the season revamp. Kind of get a little bit of a look here at it. It looks really good. The skin looks really good. Like the skin, you know, makes me kind of want to play PvP because I want the skin. Collaboration units will be excluded from the ban and up system. You know, Global doesn't really have any collaboration units, but JP and KR and them do. So they are looking into terror decks dominating the meta and thinking about how to change that. Their current plan is to add a starting barrier to ships, but it's not confirmed yet. So there's a current meta that's dominating. I don't know if that's Global or KR or what. But there's a meta that's currently dominating, and they're looking into ways to change it. They shared one of their possible ideas, but nothing's been confirmed. That's all there is to say about that. In collaboration units, none of them, as far as I recall, are super PvP meta staples. So I mean, this really doesn't change much there as far as I know. The big thing is here is, you know, the skins, like the prestige skins, and I've seen plenty of games do this. Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross has, you know, if you're in the top 100 or whatever on PvP or something like that, you have access, or no, that's if you're in the top like 100 in guild battle or something, but you have access to unique skins for certain characters, and that's fine. The question I have here is for people that, you know, start the game later. They didn't get to play during this first season. Is there a way for them to get the Replacer King skin? You know, can they get up into Diamond 5 and get the skin some other way? Or does the skin eventually become available to purchase with, like, Gauntlet points down the line? I would just like some of that information. They don't really share it here or say. Is this skin, like, if you don't get to Diamond 5 in this first season, you just never get it? Which kind of sucks, because there's a good chance I won't get any of them in that case, because I just don't do PvP. And as much as I might like that skin right there, or any of the skins that come, I don't know that I'll ever be able to get them, because I just don't care for PvP. So that's a me thing. But I think it, like, even outside of me, you know, me not being a PvP person, I am curious for, you know, people that start the game later. Are they just forever locked out of these skins if they don't play at that time? Do the skins cycle around? I would like a little more information, but then, even then, I'm not upset behind skins like this being locked behind PvP. I just would like a way for them to come back later. I mean, even Final Fantasy XIV, you know, an MMORPG in its PvP has, you know, seasonal skins that are, you know, were locked. If you didn't get them during that season, you don't get them. You don't get that cool glamour for your in-game armor to look like. And I don't think those have cycled back. I don't know. I have to check. I don't do PvP in that game very much either. Could you guess? Moving on from Gauntlet, raids. A new raid bosses will be added. Fantastic. Because we've only got the 2. And new raid bosses means a new type of gear. And a new type of gear, fantastic. You know, just gives more options, hopefully. So, very excited for a new raid boss. Love the idea of a new raid boss. Practice run for guild co-op to be added. That's fantastic. A practice run is great for guild co-op, because the guild co-op boss is somebody who does it every week and does terrible at it every week. It's tough, especially when you get into those higher levels of it, which my guild or my consortium does. It's tough. It just really, I don't put a scratch on it after like level 6. I don't think. I'm the weakest member in my consortium, I think, too. I think everybody else, like, far understands this game better than I do. But I think that's a great feature, being able to practice against that boss, because that's not a boss like with regular raid bosses. They spawn so much in between your friends and your consortium, and you get so many chances to play against them, to kind of test yourself against them. But you don't with the guild co-op. You get the 2 tries, and that's it. So having a practice run is fantastic. Very much love to see that. And the guild co-op will be reworked during March to April. So not when this launches, when the Origin year goes live on February 8th, but somewhere in March to April it's going to be reworked. And I don't know whether to say that's a good thing or a bad thing. I can only imagine it's a good thing, because so far when they've reworked, you know, raid bosses and stuff, it's usually been a good thing. So I'm pretty confident to say this is probably a good thing. So interested to see what other or what reworks and changes we see there. So other changes. There's one here that I am interested to talk about. So the Rearm system changes. You won't need unit data anymore to upgrade character skills once you rearm them. That's a fantastic change. Because before you had to have, like, I don't remember the exact number of unit data off the top of my head, but I knew if you exchanged 2,000 task planet points for unit data, it gave you exactly how much you needed. So it was a lot of unit data needed. And now you don't need it. And all task planet points you ever spend on unit data will be refunded. That's like almost 6k points for me being refunded right there, because I've rearmed 3 units. And it's for, you know, people in KR who have rearmed so many more and probably done so many more, and even in JP who have rearmed probably so many more and done so many more. They're getting those task planet points back. Why is that such a long name? You're getting those refunded. Like, that's fantastic. That is amazing and well thought out on their end. Taking out needing the unit data, fantastic. Makes leveling them up quicker, makes it easier. And if you ever did, you know, use unit data or get unit data with those points, you're getting your points back. So you can use it on operators. Yeah! I don't know what else you would use it on. There's nothing really else in there, I guess, to use it on. But anyways, the max level of the company will be increased from 100 to 200. Cool. I mean, game's been out long enough, yeah. Probably long due time to raise the max level your company can get to. The mentor system will be removed, but the rewards will be redistributed to other content. Cool. I never really made use of it outside of, you know, when I was a mentee. Like, I had a mentor. I had an acquaintance of mine, you know, was playing and let me be, and they were a little bit ahead of me, so they were my mentor. They got some nice stuff. I got some nice stuff. Cool. And I never had anybody use me as a mentor, so I never got any of that. So that means maybe I can get that stuff now. And for the vast majority of people, you'll be able to get this stuff now. So cool. They will rework the cash shops and remove bad value package. All I can say to that is I think my definition and all of your definition of bad value package is probably different from their definition of bad value package. So we will see how good that rework actually is. Now here's a good one though. The first time purchase bonus is increased from 1.5 times to 2 times the amount of admin coins or whatever. That's pretty standard. When things have a first purchase bonus where you get extra of, you know, the currency that you're buying, it's generally 2 times in games. You know, that's what it is in Arknights and Genshin and, you know, Honkai as well, I think, and a few other games like that. So that's pretty standard, and that's a good change to see. So the 2 times is nice. For people that do end up buying it, that's a good change. Here's a good one, because even, you know, really light spenders, this one will affect. The price of the monthly package will be reduced. I don't know what KRW is. I know that's like the Korean currency. I don't know what it's called. So, but from 17,000 KRW to 9,900 KRW. And at the same time, the admin coins you get from it will increase from 3,256 to 3,300. So more admin coins for less price. Mwah, beautiful. I know the price change should affect us too. So right now, the price of the monthly package is $13 or $14, I think. So maybe that drops down to about $10, maybe $9. Maybe somewhere around there. So that's a great change. That's fantastic. Getting that monthly coin package is the best value for your dollar. Just like the counter pass is the best, you know, use of your coins because of all the free, you know, resources you get from it. Not even just the characters, because sometimes the characters aren't great, but the resources you get from it are always nice. And here's a fun one. Friendly Merc system will be added in March. And as far as from what they've shown, is this is a system that lets you borrow characters from friends. Cool. Love to see it. With the chess mode, with that mode being gone, your friends like ships and stuff like that has no real purpose anymore that you can set up. So now I guess we'll probably be able to like select units that are on our share, or, you know, or get the friendly Merc system as they're calling it. So you know, people can borrow our units, and that's fantastic. You know, if you have units powered up, you can put it out there for friends to use, and maybe your friends have something you don't have. Or for new players, you can go follow somebody that has, you know, a 110 Shiyun or 110 Hilda, and just power your way through most of, you know, the early content. It's fantastic. It's a great change. Love to see that. Here's another one of the little things that I'm not too fond of. But with more information, this could be not that bad. They will introduce a special limited skins for those who spend a certain amount of admin coins during a period of time. Period of time is about 20 weeks. That's a lot of time. That's 5 months. Awakened Xinjia will be the first skin there, and it also comes with a unique login animation. I don't know what the unique login animation means. Don't know what to expect at that. I love Xinjia. I very much love Xinjia. And the fact she's the first one hurts me. And I hate that the only way to get the skin is by using admin coins. Now, obviously, that's how you get a lot of skins. So why is that any different? Well, it's because this one's limited. If you don't get it now, you don't get it. Will these rerun? We don't know. So that could affect things. We don't know how many admin coins you need to spend. Like it even says that. I think we don't have any information how many admin coins you'll need to spend to get the skin. So maybe you only need to spend 2,000 admin coins in a 5-month period. Well, that just means if you buy, the counter pass every month or once during that 5-month period, you get the skin. Maybe it is equivalent to 5 months of counter pass. You get the skin. So you buy the counter pass every month. There are ways this isn't bad, and that comes down to how many admin coins you actually have to spend. If it's an egregious amount, then this is just a terrible system, and it just rewards whales for, being whales. And it's not particularly kind. There are ways to reward whales that aren't, cruel to your free-to-play player base. Skins, to me, feel like a cruel way to your free-to-play player base, because skins are something a lot of people like, and they like to make their favorite characters look nice or wear costumes that they really like. And then when you prevent your free-to-play players from getting those costumes, it just seems a little cruel. So maybe these will cycle through so people can get. I mean, at the end of the day, your free-to-play players are never going to get this, right? Because they're never gonna be able to buy admin coins. So at the end of the day, this is a loss for them. But for people who spend even the bare minimum of getting, the counter pass, maybe there's something to it for them. Maybe. I have mixed feelings on this too, but with more information, this could be good. It could be awful, so we'll see. If the skin in the picture here is the Xinjia skin they're talking about, which it's hard to tell because it doesn't really look like Xinjia because it's all the dark colors. Xinjia is usually wearing bright colors, and I don't think Xinjia's eyes are that color, but I mean, if it is, that's a beautiful skin. Like, yeah, that's a great skin. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going. So we'll see more of that in the future, hopefully. And now, here's a fun one. We get a look at a bunch of new Awakened characters. So this is almost specifically for KR, because these are all characters that KR doesn't have yet. And as we know, KR gets stuff, gets these things first. So, Awakened Ray is a defender. Coming. Oh, and this is important. He'll focus on protecting others from hit stuns, blah, blah, blah. He will be released with the counter pass on the 8th of February in KR. So the way they word that is he is a counter pass awaken unit. The second ever counter pass awaken unit. Also a defender, ironically. The first one being Replacer King and then him. Now that could just mean he launches alongside the new counter pass. But the way that's worded, I want to think he will be the second awakened counter pass unit. And if you played the main story, you know who this guy is. So that's great. If he's on the counter pass, I will be extremely happy. Extremely happy because it means you get him without having to summon for him. That's fantastic. Here's a really big one, and one I know a lot of people are wanting and excited for. Awakened Rosaria. Awakened Rosaria will finally receive her awakening, and his codename is Asmodeus. If you pay any attention to the story, you know why that is the codename. And she will be released on the 8th of February as a banner character. And this is the other reason I say that he's going to be on the counter pass, because she's specifically saying as a banner character. So these are both coming out on KR, like, it's not next week, it's the week after next. So, but still, two really hype Awakened characters. Codename Nehema for Ray, and Asmodeus for Rosaria. This is our first Demon Lord in her awakened state, so using her Demon Lord powers, I guess. I mean, we did get awakened Regina, but as far as I've seen, that's Regina still using her powers and not what's his face, the powers that Adele has. She does have a PV up. Watch her PV here. So y'all can, I will leave the link to this, of course, in the description of the video, so you can go watch the PV if you want. This. I made a video talking about how much I love the story of this game. You can go watch that video if you want, when I was ranting and raving about how good the maze event was. And I said it in that video, I'm fairly certain. And I said it when I streamed and played the maze event. And I've said it 1,000 times since. We're going to get Awakened Ludmilla eventually. If that came through in the mic, ignore that. I did not just drop something, I swear. Awakened Ludmilla is coming. She will be released in March in KR, so it's still a whiles away for us in Global. But she exists. She exists. You listen to me for the first 9-10 months, however long Global's been out, talking about Shiyun and how I can't wait for Shiyun. How that's my boy and I'm looking forward to him. You get to listen to me for the next several months talk about, oh my god, Ludmilla's on the horizon and I cannot wait. She's right there. Look at that silhouette. I'm so excited. There's so much hype in my body right now, it cannot be contained. I'm so happy about this. So we know the next, technically, 3 Rearm characters. Rearm, Awakened characters. Now we're going on to new Rearms. Rearm Gallon is coming in February to KR. Volume Up Gallon should be focused on buffing allied HRT berry units. So it sounds like it actually makes Gallon worse right there, because you don't really use any of the other HRT berry units very often. So, until we see her and we know if she's good or not, don't rearm her. Or hold a second copy that's for rearming so you can have regular Gauntlet still. I do that anyways for all the Awakened characters. I always have 2 copies. One that saves their base form and one that Awaken or rearm. So, that's a me thing. That's a collectionist thing in the back of my head that makes me do that. But, just that description. It's like, nobody uses the other HRT berry units. Like, I can't think of the last time I used anybody outside Gauntlet and from HRT berry. Maybe besides Ina. So, maybe hold off on that rearm. Let's see how good she is first before we judge. But at the end of the day, Gauntlet is getting a rearm, so that's cool. Rearm for Casey Binns. There's her art there. I'll zoom in a little bit. And then her rearm will release alongside a new ship. So there's the ship. New ships are cool. New ships. The rearm for Casey. I don't know why Casey is suddenly Alice and from Alice in Wonderland, but that's what her rearm does. So Casey's now Alice in Wonderland. I don't know. And the new ship. So there's that. Casey's already a pretty decent unit too, so I mean she's not astounding, but she has a niche that she does pretty well. So hopefully that makes her more usable in like just general terms. Edith twins are getting a rearm, and that's set for April. And all we know is she won't be a tower unit anymore, and we don't have an image. So I have a lot of respect for the twins after. The twins helped me get through the worst part of the challenge stages, and then after meeting the character in story and a few other, and some side events, she's not as bad of a character as I first thought. So she's earned some points. So I'm happy to see her get a rearm. So yeah, cool. Then new characters, Jinbora. This is her. It zoomed in a second ago on her, but I'll zoom in again. That's her. She has a guitar. That's it. She'll be released in March. We don't know really anything about her. She doesn't look familiar to me, so I'm drawing a blank on if it's somebody we should know, but I don't think we do. The next one here, though, is interesting. Noelle, Fenrir Squad. Just like her silhouette was shown, and she will be released in March as a counterpass unit. Fenrir Squad, if I'm not mistaken, and we can real quick, we will go open this up, and we will find out right now. You know what? We'll do it right now. We're doing it live. Yeah, Fenrir Squad. That is our main story team. So, Noelle, Fenrir Squad. Noelle sounds familiar, but I'm drawing a blank. So, can't wait to actually see her and for it to be a obvious moment. But there's somebody else on Fenrir Squad now besides our main three, I guess. Ooh. Tap, tap fingers. And she's coming as counterpass shoes, so that's great. New skins. You got Laura, Nikisha, and Harab. These are all wedding skins. Yep, all new wedding skins. I guess we're going to get new wedding skins every year around this time. Makes sense, I guess. New Origin rewards. There's a lot here. So, this is the list of rewards that Japan, Global, and KR servers will get during February as part of the new Origin version. Now, it doesn't say they're just given to us, though. It says we're just going to get them. So they might be distributed through events and stuff, so hold your breath. Let's see what happens with that. But there's a lot of nice stuff here. We get two Awakened Selector tickets. 2 Awakened unit selectors. We don't know the pools yet. But that's 2 Awakened units we get to select. And if you are like me and have almost every Awakened unit, it means you get a dupe in one of your Awakened units, which is great. 1 Awakened ticket random. So that's 3 Awakened units. 3! One of them's random. 2 of them you get to pick. Mwah. 3 Awakened units without having to be someone. That's fantastic. This Origin year is going to be, like, when this goes live, this will be a great time for new players to start an account if you're interested. So, yes, please. When this stuff goes live, we see how it actually is distributed. I'll probably make another video imploring new players to play. 90 fusion cores. Fantastic, because that's the only way to get characters to 110 now. So, definitely going to start needing more and more of those. So, love to see that. 1 antagonist gear 4-piece set. So, more cooldown gear. Fantastic. Antagonist gear is good. 2 SSR employee selector tickets. So, you can select any 2 SSR employees. Fantastic. 3 random SSR employee selectors. Or selectors. 3 random SSR employee tickets. So, you get 3 of them for random. Great for potentially getting a character you don't have. Or the new dupes. Very good. 1 operator selector and 1 random operator. Fantastic. Get an operator you don't have. We're going to dupe for the trying to get the skill up if you want to do that. And then a random operator. Aw, fantastic. Love to see it. 2 SSR ship selectors. Cool. Having dupes of ships will eventually become relevant from what I understand. So most people might have all the SSR ships that are currently out at this point. So you might be able to start getting dupes for one of your favorite ships or more used ships. I don't know. Those might be worth sitting on for a bit to see how that works. 1,500 quartz. You know, they could do with more quartz. Is that being greedy? Maybe a little bit. 100 set binaries. Could they do with more of that? Heck yes. That's not being greedy. That should just give us more of those. But 100 set binaries is still very nice. So yes, we love to see it. 4 T7 Breacher gear selectors. Fantastic. Love to see that. 4 T7 inhibitor gear selectors. Fantastic. Love to see that. 50 free banner pools. We don't know what the exact pool of characters there. If it's just the entirety of the general pool, or it's one of our limited pool of characters or what, but regardless, 50 free pulls is 50 free pulls. So, mwah, love to see it. Fantastic. Hololive collab. We know how much I want to talk about this. The Hololive collab will rerun for global in February, and KR in Japan. It will also become available for the first time. So it's rerunning. They don't say whether they're changing anything or doing anything different. So potentially it means nothing. Potentially it means nothing for those of us that have experienced it and know the nightmare that it is. And we have to go through it again. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't take anything away. It's technically it's free stuff. And since we all did it once, maybe we can take it casually. But then again, it's also potentially a chance to get another Hololive skin randomly for free. Potentially. We don't know. We don't know exactly. All we know is it's coming back, and that's all I'm really going to talk about it, because I don't really have much I want to say about it. Because it's still a little bit of a fresh wound, I guess you could say. So, that is the Origin Year update. We did not get any kind of roadmap for global, so we don't know when global is getting any of the things we're still missing, like the release order of the Awakened units we're still missing and whatnot. They didn't really touch on the JP having collab units we don't have much yet, so we're still kind of, you know, seeing how things go week by week. But that being said, overall, this is fantastic. Like, this is a lot of great news. Yeah, there's a couple things here and there that I'm a little skeptical about, or I'm a little bummed by, but for the vast majority, this is great news. The amount of free rewards we're getting there, like from the Origin Year, like, hopefully they're just given to us, but I mean, the amount of that we're getting is fantastic. Amazing rewards. The UI update overall looks super clean. Very much loves it. They have 100k quartz in this picture. Sorry. Looks super clean. Very nice. Very much enjoy seeing it. The quality of life changes from, you know, not needing tickets for challenge stages anymore. The Dupe System overall is a good thing. The change to dives, Shadowhall and Relic Sages being in the same place. Being able to farm maze gear. Oh my god. Free contracts being gone, you know, that's pretty great, honestly, in my opinion. More SSRs and SRs that you can farm data for to get, you know, more free-to-play units. The new dive, danger close, you know, some of that remains to be seen. I don't know exactly how good any of that is. New raid boss, fantastic. That generally means a new gear type, so that's good. The Rearm system update, taking away needing the unit data and refunding task planet points, and fantastic. Changes to the monthly pass you can buy, fantastic. And we have a lot of really exciting units on the horizon. Just in the new ones announced here, not alone, you know, some of the really cool ones that we have yet to get in global. And we have some good rearms and some good new characters on the way. Overall, this is a fantastic update. This is the lowest part of the update. The most disappointing thing about the Origin Year stream is the fact that they even brought up Hololive. And that's not because I don't like Hololive, that's because that collab was done terribly and they didn't really say anything about fixing it. So this is fantastic. This is exciting. This is so much news to take in. And I hope I covered it all well enough for you all. I mean, I read everything. I went over everything here. Of course, the link to this will be in the description. You're welcome to go check it all out for yourselves and look over it yourselves. Take a look at some of these images yourself a little bit better quality than probably what my video displays. I'm excited. I was looking forward to this, and overall I'm pleased. No, we didn't get a roadmap. I would have liked to know what the order of things coming out is, so to know, you know, what I'm doing or when things are coming. But I'm not upset not to have it. I'm fine for things being random and just kind of guessing. It lets me guess and make videos of those guessings, you know, content. But overall, I think everything being added, you know, I think overall it's all good changes in the long run. And I'm really hopeful I'm really hopeful, and I hope everybody is in agreement with me that this is, for the most part, good things, and it, you know, builds a little bit of hope. Hopefully things are all uphill from here. Hopefully it's all good changes. Hopefully everything goes great. I'm excited. That's the only way I can word it. I'm excited, and I hope everyone else is excited too. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to know what you thought of all of these changes. What do you think of, you know, the better price for the counter, the monthly pass? What do you think about the, you know, dupe system? What do you think about, you know, the exclusive skins? What do you think about, you know, the rewards? The rewards. What do you think about Awakened Lumina? Isn't that not the best thing ever? Please agree with me, and if you don't, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you're wrong. Awakened Lumina is the best thing ever. A kid. Sort of. Awakened Lumina, yes. So, before I go on a tangent about that, that's going to be the video, everybody. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Be sure to leave a comment, like if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more Counterside videos and whatever else I decide to put out whenever I end up actually putting anything other than Counterside stuff out. And with all that being said, I'll see everybody Counterside. Peace.